Hello everyone, welcome to the Aurora Public Library's virtual programming. Today we're going to talk about how to access our ebook platform, OverDrive. So first we'll go to the Aurora Public Library homepage. Here we are on the lovely page, recognizable for the Aurora logo in the top left corner. So let's scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see the familiar Library Catalog button, but underneath we have three new buttons for Libby, Hoopla, and Canopy. Libby and OverDrive Kids will both take you to OverDrive. Let's click on Libby now. Here we are on the OverDrive page. We're specifically at aurora.overdrive.com, which means that we have access all of a sudden to a very easy way to log into OverDrive. All you have to do is click Sign In and enter your card number to check out a book. So let's look for a book. There's a couple of different ways to find books. We have books on the home page available for you to look at. We sort them by different categories. Here's Harry Potter at Home with a bunch of copies of The Sorcerer's Stone in different languages, audiobook and ebook. Here's audiobooks for the whole family. Here's a collection of new items, retro reads, Colorado Authors Spotlight. So there's a lot of different options, and we try to change up these categories. But let's say you're looking for something else. We can go up here to Subjects. And this Subjects will present to you a bunch of different categories that you can search for specifically. So if you're interested specifically in Westerns, let's click that button. Here we are. We've suddenly found a bunch of different books categorized under Western. Looks like a lot of them are Western romances. You can also sort under subjects by eBooks and audiobooks. As you see, we have 15,000 ebook titles, so you'll probably be busy reading for a while. Let's try looking at collections. Collections is good because it has some of those categories that I showed you before. We have three special categories on the left-hand side: kids, teens, and Spanish. Let's check out kids. Here we are. So the kids page has a slightly different format. It's way more colorful for one. And then on that front page, instead of having a bunch of books like audiobooks available, it has books specifically for kids. Here's Magic Treehouse Fact Tracker. I've always loved that series. Now we've got some Snowy Day reads for kids, a bunch of the Warrior Cat books, which I know are popular, some Big Nate. So you've got tons of options. Here's beginning readers for people who are just learning how to read. Here's some children's mysteries, and here's some picture books if you would like to read some picture books along with your kids. So lots of great options there. And so what we're going to do is we're going to check out collections, and let's go to teens. The teens page again has slightly different colors. They have access to categories like warm winter reads and new stuff and scintillating sci-fi. So that's very exciting. Now you'll notice that this book, Rules for Being a Girl, was on both pages. So there's some overlap between the main collection and the teen section. And we've got a lot of excellent books for teens, so that's always good. Now let's check collections one more time and navigate to Spanish. Here we go. So on this page, of course, the entire page is dedicated to books that we have in our collection that are in Spanish. And we have a ton of options. Here's some YA books that we have. Here's some suspense. We have new nonfiction going on up here, audiobooks, and a bunch of newly added books too. So you've got tons of options. Let's go to collections and navigate back to the main collection. All right. So here you can go to eBooks or audiobooks and check for a few different categories. Here's some of my favorites. You can go directly to new ebook editions and see everything that's just been added. You can also go to available now without the wait. And it's going to take you to some of our most popular items. Now let's say you want something new that is available now. You can do that too. My way of doing that is I go to new ebook editions, and then on the side here where it says availability, instead of saying all titles, I click available now. And it edits it so it's not showing all of the results for everything new. It's just showing the 1,000 something new books we have that are available now. You can also do this for audiobooks, which is great. So here we go. If you click Just Added for audiobooks or for eBooks, you can limit it on the side by if you want an OverDrive listen or an MP3, and so that works well. Okay, let's say we found a book that we really like. What's a good option? Let's say we would really like to read the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, because I've definitely encountered some vampires, probably somewhere, and I would like to know how to slay them. I'm kidding, it's fiction. But here we go. Steel Magnolias meets Dracula. That sounds fun to me. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a couple options on this page. You can choose to borrow the book if you would like to read it right away. You can read a sample of the book. So the book will open up, and all of a sudden we can click through the first couple pages and see the table of contents to see what's going on there. We can click Add to Wishlist, and that'll remind us to return later, or Add to History. And if we choose to Add to Wishlist, Add to History, or borrow this book, it's going to take us back to this welcome page with the option to sign in. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to navigate over to a page where I'm already signed in. So let's go to My Shelf. You can see an example of what it looks like once you've borrowed a book. So to see the books you've borrowed, you'll click this collection of 3 books on the far right side of the screen, and it will show all the books you've borrowed. You can borrow 10 titles at a time. I currently have 1 book checked out, and it has some options. I can read it directly with Kindle, or I can read it now in browser. And there's another option it's not showing, that we can read it in the app, and I'll talk to you about the app here in a minute. From this window, you can also navigate to holds. You can put items on hold if someone else is interested in them. I currently have The City We Became on hold. So if we click on that book, we'll see that it says 0 of 1 copy available. And it's kind of convenient that we found this. Let's see if I can find another book that is on hold. So here we've got a bunch of books with available at the top in gray. If a book is checked out, let's look for something popular. Let's look for The City We Became in the system. At the top, instead of that brown borrow banner, it says Waitlist. That means that somebody else has it, and if you click on the item, it'll tell you, okay, here's the copies available, 0 of 1, and the wait time, in this case about 14 weeks. Thankfully, I already read this book, but sometimes it's worth the wait for a book like that. You can navigate to holds from this. Wish list, you can see your wish list. You can rate titles. If I'd finished this book, I could select a number of stars. You can also look at your history. If you choose to turn on your history, you can see the books that you've borrowed before. We are still not able to see those. There are 2 apps that you can download if you would like to read these books on an iPad or a Kindle or an Android phone. Those apps are the OverDrive app and Libby. This is the OverDrive app. And I'm accessing both of these through the OverDrive website. So as you see, it's available in the App Store, Google Play, Chrome Web Store, Amazon. So that's always excellent. And the OverDrive app, I know, is popular with a lot of people. It's also an older app. The newer app that they've instituted is called Libby. And I prefer Libby because I find it a little more user-friendly and interesting to look at. But that is entirely up to you, and it makes it really convenient to see what's new and to sync up all of your libraries. So that's basically how to cover OverDrive. Those are our categories. Those are how to access it. Go to the Aurora Library homepage and click on that Libby button, and you'll be ebook to access our entire ebook collection. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this is helpful as you look for some great books to read at home.